Hey party people, it's me Jabron here and welcome back to my video. If this is your first time tuning in, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into today's video. Alright, so today, first of all, yeah, I'm wearing the same outfit because I'm filming like a whole bunch of videos in one day. Granted, I'm going to change like after this video because I refuse to be seen in this anyway. But today I'm going to be talking about the creation of my movie It Was You and the behind the scenes and how the whole process went. Alright, so let me give you the background. So I was taking this class when I was in high school called Film Studies. Film Studies had just gotten filled by a new teacher. Those teachers just saw something in me, some more than others out of those three, saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. They always pushed me and they always was like, they allowed me to be creatively weird. And my product always came out amazing, but we'll talk about the other two in a minute. We'll talk about that another day. So, I took film studies last year. He was new, so he really didn't know what he was doing. This year, he decided that he wanted to do Film Prize. So, Film Prize Junior, which is like a local regional competition for like all junior filmmakers, and like you get a chance to go to film festival and stuff like that, which I went to. So at the top of the year, he was like, just be thinking about what you wanted to do. He was like, make sure like it can be filmed in. So we didn't start working on the movies until around December because he wanted to give. I was film studies too, but they mixed film studies 1 and 2, unlike they did with my drama class. Like advanced drama would all be in a group, and then drama 1 would be in a group, because film studies is a little bit different because it's not a whole bunch of film 2s. So I didn't know what I wanted to do, but came December, I was like, okay, what can I do that's filmed at this school? And so basically I came up with the idea of the 4 characters. I all make them gender neutral. Because if you notice, like all the names are like gender neutral. We changed one. Addison didn't like her name, so she ended up changing her name, but I forgot what the original name was. I think it was Kyle, and she changed it to Kylie. But, so I ended up coming up with the idea of the 4 friends, and then something happens in between the 4 friends. It's like everybody's good, but then something arises, and it's like, ooh. That's why it's called It Was You. Link in the description box. So I ended up writing, what do you call it? Like the treatment for it. So I wrote that, and then we came back 2nd semester. And he was like, you're going to go to Film Prize. And then another one ended up going to Film Prize. It was called The Circle. The Circle was good. It was kind of like a psychological thing where it's like, at my old school, like the whole main building is like a circle, and it's like you get stuck in the circle. The movie is actually really good. And so I was really, really excited about that. So we came back 2nd semester, and if you wanted to be a director or you wrote it, you came up. I was going to do it all pretty much. In that movie, I wrote it, I directed it, and I helped edit it. Okay? So, I acted in it. So, I was heavily involved. So, he called us up. He was like, okay, write down who you want on the cue card. I wrote that I wanted Marion, and I wrote that I wanted Haley. The reason why I wrote that I wanted Haley was because I had already worked with Haley on plenty of shows before that in drama, and I knew Haley was an exceptional actress. And we were doing this show called The Crucible at the time, and Haley's auditions, she killed it. Haley was amazing. And then I wanted to work with the Marion because I like the Marion as a person. He's one of those people who gets me and I get him. Like me and him, we meshed very well together because Omarion is the opposite of me. I'm loud, he's quiet, and then Haley's like one of my good friends. So I was like, okay, if I have to work with anybody in here, I know for a fact I want these 2. He was like, you may not get all the people on your car. Now, I didn't get everybody I wanted on my car, but the main 2 people I wanted on my car, I got. Which, honestly, we'll get to later on. Honestly, if it was not for them 2, y'all, okay. So we ended up getting our groups and stuff. So it was, so the first day I remember us sitting down and I was basically explaining to everybody the script. Addison was missing. Addison, ironically, 3 out of the 4 actors all took drama. So that was a fun fact. Me, Haley, and Addison all took drama. So we all knew like how to act and how to emote. But acting on film and acting on, I'm trying to act on stage pretty much. Acting on film is totally different. I'll get to that in a minute. So we sat down and I'm writing. I wrote like 99.9% of it. Had like helped me like with one scene. She like wrote like a couple of lines in it. She like wrote something about context or something. But pretty much this was like my brain baby. And so I ended up writing it, and then they ended up reading their parts and stuff like that, and then we ended up reading for the class. People liked it, and then he sent it off to Film Prize, and then they wanted edits. Film Prize gave me like, okay, we like, at first it was gonna be a cliffhanger, but Film Prize was like, no, we need a clear start, middle, and finish. First of all, Film Prize had a whole bunch of regulations. You couldn't do violence, you couldn't show weapons, no drugs, no this, no that, and the third. So I was like, oh, okay, this is really gonna have to be, for me, it was gonna have to be very tamed, because I've written stuff for my drama class. The stuff I normally write was very out there, but this one was very tamed because I had so many regulations and stuff. So I ended up, I forgot what break it was. Was it winter break? It was one of them breaks, and I went up. I had to create a whole nother scene. I revised the whole script from top to bottom. I'm literally sitting at home before we come back, and I'm like, oh my God. No, I got a Christmas break. One of them some break where I had like a week off. I remember like the couple of days before we go back, I'm like, I got to get this script done. So I ended up revising the whole thing. The way the movie is, the bones of it is the same as what I originally created, but it's completely different. Like, hands down, it's day and night. Because they gave me suggestions, and I took the suggestions, and we had the finished product. So we ended up doing the table read. That went well, and then it was time to film the first day. Whoo, child. Okay, the first day. One of my actors was having, the first day, we didn't even get to film anything because we were trying to figure out setup. Okay, because, did I bring my camera the first day? We were trying to figure out how to make it. If you look at the movie, the first scene, we're trying to figure out how to make the cameras make sense. Because the first scene, it had to be short. So everything has to pretty much happen in under 10 minutes. So unlike an hour movie where you have like time to develop a plot and develop the background and stuff, I had to do all of that in less than 10 minutes because it's a short film. And so, and keep in mind, I had a very low budget to work with. You know, at KHDR, we had like good cameras and stuff like that. Film studies, my school didn't really support it, so we had one camera. We had very minimum equipment. We had I had to make it do what it do pretty much. So the first day we didn't even film because we were trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to do? So it ended up taking us 2 days to film the first scene. So we ended up filming the first scene like in a couple of takes the second day, and that ended up going well. Did I? Okay, I had to double check. Ironically, I ended up reshooting the first scene anyway because if you look at the movie, it's filmed outside. At first it was filmed in the classroom, but I hated it. So I ended up reshooting it. So we did all of that for no reason. And so we would like take turns in the class because all we had was one camera. So we ended up shooting the first scene and went well. Okay, so then it came our turn to shoot the second scene. The second scene is pretty much where like all the drama builds up, and that's when everything happens. I ended up shooting a whole bunch of other stuff too, and it didn't get, when I tell y'all, I finally understand why there's so many deleted scenes, because I had certain scenes that I wanted, but it just didn't make, once you start editing certain things, editing wise doesn't make sense because it's like it's too much going on, especially in that short time. I tried to keep it nice and simple. Y'all, the second scene took a whole month to shoot. A whole freaking month to film one scene. Whew. Lorraine, I really like you. Lorraine couldn't remember his lines for nothing. we would go in, we would film. Even if you didn't know your lines, I was like, yo, you guys don't even have to be perfect, because I understand me and Haley had shows and stuff going on. I really wasn't looking at the script like that, because if I didn't have my lines down for the show, I was going to get my head chewed off. So I was like, you know what, guys? Let's just do what you got to do. He didn't even know the whole plot. We shot this scene, I know, at least 5 times. We shot this scene so many times. It got bad to the point to where I thought Omarion was gonna have to fill in for him. Like, it was horrible. We were filming it on cold days, on hot days. Like, the weather was horrible. It was the winter time, so it was freezing cold outside, and we took all 55 minutes to film this one scene. That stressed my life out so much, because it's like, I would go into my psychology class and I'm like, oh my god, here we go again. Then you got Omarion thinking he running stuff, and I'm like, hold on. This is a Jabron production, not a story production. If this was Storybook Productions, we would follow Storybook manners. But Omarion was trying to document like the situation. I was like, that probably kept me sane the most, when you have somebody who's who's keeping you on track. Because a lot of times, everybody knows I get scatterbrained. Me and Haley, especially when me and Haley get to talk, you be like, hold up, we gotta film. But then when certain things would get tense, he would like try to make light out of it. That's one thing he was really, really good at, because when I was stressed out, them two, if it wasn't for them two, them two are the reason why I didn't end up in juvie. Because when I tell you my nerves was shot, I was like, here we go again. And then Landry, she was amazing. Landry was our other camera lady. Landry was amazing. She was always very quiet and diligent. Everything you asked her to do, she always did it. Landry was probably one of the best people to have. Landry really didn't say nothing. You asked her to do something, she did it. And Mackenzie helped to shoot one scene too, because Omarion got sick, and so he couldn't help it, so he didn't film. Because Omarion's whole thing was behind the scenes. Omarion handled cameras. I set up angles, but he was making sure that everything fit and making sure everything was rolling. Camera operator. Even though he likes to think he was co-directing crap, camera operator. And Haley pretty much helped me with them. Like giving them different tips and stuff. Because they would keep asking me like what they wanted. So I had to say, as a creative person, you have to forget sometimes that you say stuff in your brain, but you don't say it out loud. So sometimes I'm thinking something for a character in my head, but I haven't verbalized to them. And so I'm getting like, oh, wait, I didn't actually tell you that. So we ended up finally getting that scene done. And then, if you notice, I accidentally wore one outfit twice. I don't know why I did that, but that happened. It's like the opening scene and the last scene are the same. Because I didn't know what days we were going to film. I would just go into class and he'll be like, oh, okay, Dwayne, is your group? He called me Dwayne. Dwayne, is your group ready to film? And I'm like, I guess. And so we were filming. I didn't realize that the clothes, anyway, so that ended up getting done. The last couple of scenes, the last scene that was difficult too, that if you notice, we love the Raylan. Hey, Raylan, I don't want you to feel like we bashing you. By the way, if you hear the lawnmower, my granddad's cutting grass. Anyway, but anyway, you'll notice that when he's trying to know his lines, he'll rub his eyes, but we'll get to that in a minute. So we ended up finally getting done, y'all. When I tell y'all, I feel like I was at the freaking Olympics. I was like, oh my god, we're done finally. This is over. I can get on with my life. And then I had to edit. Did it take us 2 months to edit? Me and Omarion edited. But here's the thing. I edited with Bryson with him. I taught him how to use all them buttons because I ain't feel like doing it. Just like Bryson, because like me and Bryson at KGT, I had a system. Bryson worked all the buttons. I just said what I want. And then Bryson was zhuzh it up. The difference is Omarion and they know how to work none of the buttons. They didn't know how to zhuzh it up. So a lot of times we'll just switch back and forth. That was fun because we'll be cracking jokes and stuff and laughing the whole time. I don't know how we got work done. I don't know how we got work done. But it was fun. Like the whole process, because of those two, did not feel like work to me. Because I was actually having fun around the people I was working with. Even with Raylan and Addison. Like, we were always cracking jokes. And so the finished product ended up coming. I can honestly say I'm proud of my work. The editing was great. Everything went off without a hitch for the most part. And there's even a part I'll never forget. Me and Marion would edit, right? And so if there was multiple, sometimes we would switch shots a lot. You'll notice in the movie. So the way we would know that we're in sync is if Raylan's hands, we would sync of his hands to the different angle shots when he would talk. Because half the time when I would switch the camera angles, we'll use it from the Raylan's line. So if the hands did not match, we knew that we had either added too much or added too little. So that was fun. And then I ended up going to Film Prize. I represented my group. The PPG and Erica ended up coming, and Corey, and they came late. They didn't get to see the movie, but they came out to support me. We ended up watching the whole viewing. It was fun. It's an experience I'll never forget. Will I ever do another one? Yeah, I just don't know when because I'm so busy right now and I got a lot going on. But yeah, that was the making of It Was You. And if you want to see it, it's down below and on my page. But anyway, that's all I have for now. And if you haven't already, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.